Good day, good day, good day, everybody. Welcome to Morning Sip with Red Melissa. I am Red Melissa, and this is Sip, Spirit in Practice, because we know that practice makes progress. We know practice makes progress. So I am Red Melissa. I use the technology of spiritual psychology, spiritual practices, and universal principles to companion people in disrupting, limiting patterns of thinking, limiting patterns of behaving by prioritizing their mind and their heart to reveal the healing from within. This is my passion. This is my ministry of joy, where I support people in living life in joy, connected to their yes. I am an ordained interfaith minister, a licensed religious science practitioner, a spiritual life coach, and the spiritual director of Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, a New Thought Center in New York. So if you need support, you can reach out to me on my social media and we can set up some time to talk. Without further delay, it's time to get our mind right. It's time to get our mind right and to live that life that wants to live in and through you. Yes? So good day, Christopher. It's good to see you. Good day, Pamela, Miss Bliss. Hey, good day, Linda from Colorado. Good day, Wayne. God bless lighthearted souls. Amen to that, Wayne. A good day to everyone who's out there watching in Zoom, not Zoom, on Facebook or on YouTube. I appreciate your presence. You can make your presence known. So I could just send you some shout outs. Good day, mommy. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. All right, everybody. We are gonna get moving, Lindsay. Good day from Cali. Yes, yes, yes. So Mm. Yesterday we had our meditation with the moon. It inspired me to wear this shirt today. It inspired me to wear my moon shirt today. Yes. Wow. It says stay wild. There you go. Stay wild, moon child. I love that. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to stay wild. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So we had a good time last night. Yes, we did, Tim, with our meditation with the moon, the snow moon, the hungry moon. It has many names. It was a micro moon. So if you missed the meditation with the moon, we did a full-blown spiritual practice. You can catch the replay. Go to my YouTube channel, I am Red Melissa, and do the process. Do the full process. So it's Tuesday, and we are continuing with our non-resistance series. Sometimes the series spill over, and so this is one of those that's spilling over to the following week. So I just want to do a quick recap. So the non-resistance series was inspired by the season of nonviolence. The season of nonviolence commemorates Gandhi and Dr. King through those 64 days, the day that Gandhi was killed on January 30th and the day that Martin Luther King was killed on April 4th. Those 64 days are the season of nonviolence. And that got me to thinking how we can create an individualized season of nonviolence for ourselves, right? Because the season of nonviolence, that whole movement is macro, it's around the whole world, right? But what I'm always interested is how we can apply the principles, how we can apply universal truths to our lives and use them now, right? Make it individualized. How does this apply to me Lisa? How can I have my own season of nonviolence, my own season, have my own non-resistant movement, right? Within myself. So that's how the non-resistance series was born. So we have been unpacking it all last week, right? And we've been practicing being non-resistant and non-violent towards ourselves. So you might say, oh, Rev Melissa, I'm not violent towards myself. But let's look at this, right? Speaking of violence in the sense of blaming, shaming ourselves, being critical, hypercritical of ourselves, speaking negativity about ourselves and others, those are all acts of violence. They're acts of violence. So we are practicing non-resistance and non-violence towards ourselves and others. And so we looked at our limiting beliefs, and instead of fighting our limiting beliefs, instead of fighting, oh, I never have anything and nothing ever works out for me. Instead of fighting that stream of thinking, that pattern of thinking, we are transforming it by replacing it with a thought, a pattern of thinking that serves our highest good. So if my limiting pattern of thinking and belief was, I am not worthy, nothing good comes to me, life is a struggle, everything is so hard, I never get what I want. If that's my pattern of thinking, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to think that anymore, but then I don't replace it with something that is positive, that is uplifting, that is in alignment with my quality. How about that, y'all? Using my quality to transform my limiting beliefs to unlimited thinking, to all possibilities, to all things are working together for my highest good, to all things are always working out for me with grace and ease. That is how we transform limiting beliefs. And then we practice and we practice and we practice applying the non-resistant truth to who we are, to who we are. And then we talked about transmutation with Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. And he sees nonviolence as conscious presence. Because oftentimes we're not even present with ourselves. We're out in the past somewhere. We're all the way up there in the future, and we're not present. So conscious presence is how we can use nonviolence towards ourselves and others, by being present with people, by being present with ourselves through intense alertness, is what he says. Use your conscious presence with intense alertness. Be alert, be aware, be alive, be awake, right? Intense alertness. So I see you, Linda. Let me see what you're sharing. I was trained as a child to apologize for everything. As an adult, I am still working on letting go of the belief that I am responsible for all that goes wrong. Oh, Linda, you're saying a word there. I totally understand and I can relate to what you are saying when it comes to responsibility, right? Using responsibility in a way that is violent towards ourselves, because we're not responsible for everything and everybody. No, we are not, right? But we learn and we grow and we transform, Linda, don't we? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And then we also explore Florence Scovel Shen's book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. One of my favorites. It's a classic. If you haven't read it, you need to. You need it in your life. I'm telling you right now. And she has a whole chapter called The Law of Non-Resistance. And she says nothing on earth can resist an absolutely non-resistant person. Nothing on earth can resist an absolutely non-resistant person, right? She invites us to transmute our experiences, our interrelationships, to transmute them by being absolutely non resistant. And she tells a wonderful story about a woman who realized that she needed to shift from being resistant in a business relationship to being non-resistant, and the floods of heaven opened up for her, and she was prosperous in every way, and that which was she viewed as resistance was really a blessing, and it all got taken care of because it was in alignment, an alignment with non-resistance. So if you missed that, you want to check that out last week. So we're using our energy, the energy of our quality. I did a roll call on Friday of our qualities. You've been using your quality? What you're doing with your quality, right? We're affirming it. We are being our quality in everything that we do, say, think, act in, interact with, everything. Nothing gets left out of our quality, right? So we're using the energy of our quality. And then we end it with Deepak Chopra. And he has a book called The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. And this one got me going, y'all. I haven't read it in decades, but oh, it's a good one. And I'm going to talk a little bit from it today. He has a chapter called The Law of Least Effort, which is also the law of non-resistance. And it's all about like being like water, go with the flow, right? The water, consistent interaction with water will smooth out all the edges, right? Will smooth out the rough edges of a rock, consistently being what it is in the flow, right? So we're being like water. We're making miracle moves, yes, and we are doing less and accomplishing more. Now, who don't want some of that in their life? To do less and accomplish more. So we get to do that by being in the activity and being in the motivation of love. Our actions are motivated by love. Our actions are motivated by our quality. And I like to say our actions come from our inspiration of our quality. What inspires you? Take action from that place. Yes? And then we wrapped it up on Friday with your internal reference point that Deepak talks about in his book. What is your internal reference point? Is your internal reference point your ego running amok? Or is your internal reference point love and compassion, non-resistance, non-violence? Is your internal reference point your quality? Do you go to your quality first before you say what you're getting ready to say? Do you pause for a moment? Take a sacred pause and say, let me check in with my quality. Would connection say that? Would bliss say that? Would abundance say that? Would steadfast say that? What would my quality say in this moment to this being of light, whose light just might be dimmed in the moment that they're having this interaction with you, right? So, what is my internal reference point? And don't speak a word until you are connected to your quality. Don't open your mouth to utter a word until you get yourself clear. And if you can't in that moment, then stay in pause. Do not press go. Do not press play. Stay in pause. Stay in pause. Yes. So we're going to stop spending our energy in wasteful ways. All of that, wasteful energy. And you know what he did, and you know what he said, and you know what I said back to her. You know what I should have said to her. You know what happened last year? I should have. Wasteful energy. wasteful. We are not about a wasteful life. We're about a joyful life. We're about a life that reflects and is our quality. Yes, Simone, we're about that life that reflects love, compassion, and strength. That is what I'm talking about. So that brings us to today. That was your recap, y'all, of all last week. I think I did a pretty job with the recap. So I wanted to share with you from Deepak Chopra's book what he calls the 3 components of the law of least resistance. The 3 components of the law of least resistance, the law of non-resistance. And so we're going to unpack that for the next 3 days. So today we're going to do the first component. And the first component is acceptance. The first component is acceptance. And when you are in acceptance, I see you, Simone, there is no shoulda, woulda, coulda. There is none of that. It is what it is. It is coming into non-resistance with what is. With what is, not what you wanted it to be, not what it could have been, but what it is. We have to start with the reality of the thing, not make up a story about it, not go into our own narration about it. It is what it is. The sooner you arrive at what is, the sooner you'll be able to move forward and free yourself. Being in a place of non-acceptance is bondage. It's bondage. So we free ourselves through the power of non-resistance through acceptance. So I'm going to read a little bit, well, more than a little bit. I want to read this to you all. And it's from Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And the subtitle is A Practical Guide to the Fulfillment of Your Dreams. So you know I love practical guides. Yes, I do. So he writes, the first component of the law of least resistance is acceptance. Acceptance simply means that you make a commitment. Today, I will accept people, situations, circumstances, and events as they occur. As they occur. This means I will know that this moment is as it should be because the whole universe is as it should be. Now, that might sound like a lot, right? This is how it is? Yes, this is how it is. This is how it is. And this moment, the one you're experiencing right now, is the culmination of all the moments you have experienced in the past. This moment is as it is because the entire universe is as it is. Every single thing that we do matters. What we did today matters, and what we did yesterday matters, and what we are experiencing today. If I set myself up for success yesterday, I wake up in success today. I don't have to start all over. Acceptance. If I wake up in acceptance today for all the things that I didn't get done yesterday, I can move forward. But if I wake up in non-acceptance, if I'm like, oh, I should have did this yesterday. Oh, yesterday, I had quite a day. I was scattered. I was all over the place. It was like I couldn't focus. I didn't beat myself up about it. I was like, maybe I just need a day. Maybe I just need a day. So that's what I did. I took a day. And then at the end of the day, I remember that Monday is my Sabbath day. And I've been in some resistance about ownership of my Sabbath day. But that's a whole nother thing. Let's get back. Deepak writes, when you struggle against this moment, you're actually struggling against the entire universe. Instead, you can make the decision that today you will not struggle. Mm. Make the decision that today you will not struggle against the whole universe by struggling against this moment. When stuff happens, don't struggle against what is happening. Accept that it is happening. It doesn't mean that you're in agreement with it. It doesn't mean that you like it. It just is what it is. This means that your acceptance of this moment is total and complete. You accept things as they are, not as you wish they were in this moment. This is important to understand. You can wish for things in the future to be different, but in this moment, you have to accept things as they are. When you feel frustrated or upset by a person or a situation, remember that you are not reacting to the person or the situation, but to your feelings about the person or the situation. These are your feelings, and your feelings are not someone else's fault. You better go ahead, Deepak. Your feelings are not someone else's fault. No one can make you feel anything. You feel your feelings. Take ownership of what you are feeling. I tell this to my girls all the time. Something happens in school and they come home and they're telling me the story. And I let them tell the story. We go through the whole thing. And then later on, when they're feeling a little bit more settled, I come back to them. I said, let's talk about your feelings about this situation. And they said, well, mommy, they made me feel such and such and such and such. I said, okay, who has the power over your feelings? And they stop and they look at me and then now they smile because they know where I'm going. And they go, I do, mommy. I have the power over my feelings. And now they're at the point where they say, no one can make me feel anything. I make myself feel what I feel. Yes. Transforming our lives from resistance to non-resistance. When you recognize and understand this completely, you are ready to take responsibility for how you feel and to change it. And if you can accept things as they are, you are ready to take responsibility for your situation and for all the events you see as problems. Any event that you see as a problem in your life, who is responsible for changing it? You are, beloveds. We each are responsible for our feelings. We each are responsible for how we respond to situations, places, and things. That's all that we can control is our response to it. Not what happened, our response to it by acceptance of it. We're in the non-resistance. We are in the flow with life, not fighting against it. It is a friend, not a foe. The universe comes as a friend, not as a foe. Ooh, my mother's dropping it today, boy. My mother said, I really need to grow up. Mommy, you're not alone in that. You are not alone in that. Come on now. It's time, y'all. Time to get our minds right. Time to own our stuff by accepting our stuff as our stuff now. None of us are children. I hear you, mommy. We get to decide. We get to make the conscious choice by being consciously present with ourselves. all aspects of ourselves, our inner child that needs love and attention, to know that all is well, that you are safe, that you are worthy, that you are lovable, that you are here for a divine purpose, that you are necessary, that the breath that you breathe gives life to the trees. There's a little one within us that needs that attention from us. Yes? Yes. I see you, Pam. No one is responsible for my feelings. It's my responsibility to respond with bliss. Do you know how somebody is going to respond when you respond to them in bliss and they're thinking we're in some conflict and you're thinking I'm in bliss? I'm not participating in the conflict. I'm participating in bliss. That's how I am using my energy. That is my internal reference point. So that's how we get to practice this. That's how we get to make progress in our lives. I'm not talking about being perfect in this sense. I'm talking about making progress through practice. And the universe is so generous that every day we have the opportunity to practice in our relationships, in our workplaces, wherever we may be. There will be an opportunity for us to practice being our quality. And don't just wait for like the upsets to happen. Be your quality when there's like, oh, this is good stuff happening. Be your quality then too, all the time. There is no time where you are not showing up in and as your quality. No time. All right, y'all. All right. So I knew I was going to go long because I had 1.5 cards. So I knew I was going to go long. So I think we're going to wrap here. I'll share the joy news tomorrow. Let me see if there's anything pressing. Just a shout out to all my 30-day mental dieters, our dieters. We're having a good time with our 30-day mental diet journey. So shout out to all of you. We have class 4 tonight. So I will see y'all tonight. And if you did not do it this time, there will be another opportunity for you to say yes, for you to say yes to taking this journey. I'm telling you, it will transform your thinking. It will transform your patterns. It will transform you because we're doing the work. Yes? All right. So with that being said, I appreciate you all. Yes, Tim, I see you. Amen. Amen, Pamela. And excellent. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you all for being with me today live for Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. Tomorrow we will unpack the second component of the law of least resistance, the law of non-resistance. We're practicing today. Everybody, you got your marching orders. You'll know what you're doing today. Look for those opportunities. They will be present right before your very eyes. How am I choosing to feel? What is my internal reference point? It is my quality. How can I use my quality in this moment, right here, right now, with myself and with others? Report back tomorrow. Yes, Simone, meditation with the moon yesterday was fabulous. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you. And we'll talk about all of that in Joy News tomorrow. So peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and justice. We're living life in joy. Yes, we are, because we are connected to our yes.